I think we're going to do a recollection on generosity. And the reason I thought about that was because we have in this room some people who have done some really wonderful things. Even just today, people have come on their birthday or near their birthday to offer some food to the Sangha. Other people in this room have done acts of generosity, like taking members of the Sangha around, showing them some historical sites. There's partners in this room who have been so generous to allow their partners to go away on retreats and practice meditation. There's people in this room who offer their time so that people can come here to the Buddhist library and hear the Dharma. And so this is generosity. This is one of the basic things of the Buddhist path. When the Buddha would meet new people, he would often start talking about generosity. So this is something we practice in our daily life. But if you want to make the most of your good qualities of kindness and giving, if you want to supercharge your mind, then you should reflect upon that generosity that you've done. In doing this, what you see is the nature of the mind of generosity and how beautiful it is, inspires you to get some joy in your mind. Joy naturally appears in your mind when you've done a good thing. That joy becomes what we call rapsha, piti, really good feelings in the body. That becomes passaddhi, kaya passaddhi, tranquility of the body, which leads to sukha, bliss. And this bliss is what draws the mind, this happiness draws the mind deep into samadhi, very deep meditation. This is the pathway that the Buddha outlined in a practice called Cāgānussati. Cāgā means generosity, liberality, giving. Anu means to remember, to recollect. Sati, what does sati mean? Mindfulness. And so we have a recollection of our generosity. Generosity is a wonderful thing to contemplate. You might think, well, this isn't a meditation subject, but just sit with it. See what happens to the quality of your mind. See if you don't get a little smile on your face, recollecting the times that you've been generous. And the Buddha said, when you practice like this, you are in line with the Dhamma. The Dhamma is born within you. This is the teachings of the Buddha, the universal teaching. This path is born inside of you, and it's a happy path which brings us out of suffering towards happiness. And so generosity was one of the ways that Buddha recommended that we inspire the mind. And so that's what we're going to do. It's going to be a guided practice. Some of you might love guided meditation. Some of you might hate guided meditation. If you hate guided meditations, you just turn the volume off and just meditate. But it's good when you come to a place like this, when you've got a meditation teacher in front of you, to learn some different skills to add to your toolkit. Because there's times when you're going to really want to inspire the mind, bring up that joy. Once you've got that joy in your mind, meditation takes off. And so joy is a really fundamental part of the positive emotional state that meditation brings up in our mind. And it's those positive emotions which shows us progress in this process of meditation. We start from a beginning point, we see an increase in happy state. Pretty good. Keep going, you see, oh, I get even happier, even better. You just keep going, keep getting happier, keep on blissing out, keep on getting more and more good vibe. And then, of course, the highest happiness is nibbana, complete freedom, an absence of suffering. And your act of generosity that you do in daily life, this is a tool that you use, you recollect, and then this will bring up that positive sequence of emotion. Who's done this practice before? Ah, see? Nice, right? Very good. So the important thing to remember, of course, is that not only are you developing a mind of generosity and kindness, but you're letting go of miserliness, selfishness, greed, hate. As we develop these positive qualities, we let go of these negative qualities. And we see this in the laboratory of our mind. So let's take a comfortable posture, something that works for you. You can be relaxed and comfortable. We've got half an hour of meditation, so we can take our time to settle in. Some of you might want to sit on a cushion on the floor. Some of you might be happy in a chair. Whatever posture you've chosen, do take a few moments to find the most comfortable position that you can so that you can sit here and not worry about the body. If there's pain in the body, experiment a little bit. Find that comfortable pose that works for you. There's no rush. You can just give yourself permission to arrive here and now. Give yourself permission to be present. And this is a letting go of the world outside, letting go of all of your daily activities, your work, family life, your worries. For the time being, just allow those things to be out there. Let go of them. No need to bring them in here. And so as you become still, as you pause activities, we're drawing the mind away from the world outside. We're drawing the mind inward. You can become aware of this room that we're in, sounds of the room, the air conditioner, aware of the temperature of the room, developing mindfulness of what's going on here and now. You're becoming aware, aware of this body here and now, seated here. And how is that body? Is there any tightness or tension in your body that you've been holding on to? If you can't just let it go, let that tension, let that tightness dissolve as you relax and release, letting go of tightness in the face, relaxing shoulders, softening the back, front body, relaxing deep inside, letting go of any tightness in the hip, tension in the buttock, relaxing down through the legs, softening, allowing all that tension and tightness to drain away through the toes so that you can feel comfortable and at ease, that you can stay and meditate, feeling good. Hmm. Feels good. It feels good to relax. It feels good to let go, not hold on. Sense of freedom, happiness. Let go of tension, to let go of suffering in this body. You relax a little more, become more comfortable, let go of more suffering in the body. And perhaps you notice that when the body is relaxed, mind naturally becomes more calm, naturally becomes more peaceful. Being relaxed, mind becomes more spacious. It feels good to be calm and peaceful. And so you relax the mind, just as you relax the body, letting go, not holding on, letting go of thought, problem, letting go of past, letting go of future, not worrying, not planning, relaxing the mind by letting go. And now that the body is relaxed and mind is calm, we can begin our practice of Cāgānussati, the recollection of your generosity. You, you are a good person. You are a good person. You are a kind person. You are a generous person. You are. You're a kind and generous person. How wonderful. And you allow yourself to feel good. Yes, I'm a kind and generous person. And you give yourself a little smile on your face, smile in your heart. In many ways, you have given. You have been generous. Perhaps you give to a charity. Perhaps you bought someone lunch. Perhaps you volunteered, gave your time. Perhaps you listened to a friend. Perhaps you gave a smile to a stranger. In many ways, you have done many acts of kindness, many acts of giving. Wonderful, beautiful. And so remembering now a time that you were kind, generous. Maybe you bought someone a birthday present, made a donation, opened the door for someone. remembering something you did that was good, kind, and generous. What was the inspiration? How did that feel to have this idea come into your mind? And when you gave, how did you feel? Did you feel good, happy to give? And after, how was your mind after you gave? And the recollection of generosity goes like this. How wonderful for me that in this world where people are selfish, greedy, miserly, full of hate and aversion, how wonderful that I am a kind and generous person. How wonderful, how fortunate for me that I am a kind and generous person, letting go of selfishness, letting go of greed, delighting in giving. And to allow this thought to bring joy into your heart. Allow yourself to feel positive emotion, happy emotion, very special feeling associated with kindness, generosity. Feels good in the mind. Feels good to give. Feels good to let go. It feels good to recollect our generosity. And this is that goodness returning to us. How wonderful. How wonderful that I'm a kind and generous person in a world that is selfish, miserly, and greedy, that I delight in giving, that I love letting go. So we're coming towards the end of the session, but still with your eyes closed, let's take a few moments to review what happened. And so ask yourself, how am I feeling now? Is it different from when we began? What happened to my mind? Were you able to relax the body, or was that difficult? Were you able to relax your mind, or was that hard? And how was the recollection of generosity? Did it bring up some joy in your heart? How did that feel? Was it difficult? Ask yourself, why? When we see the link between our action and the quality of our mind, we have an opportunity to develop wisdom. If we don't understand the link between our action and our mind, we won't get any wisdom. And this is why the Buddha taught Cāgānussati, so people can see the link between giving, generosity, kindness, love, and developing a beautiful mind. Mind that lets go selfishness, ego, a mind that lets go of greed, hate. And so now you can relax your awareness. You come back to this space here surrounded by good, kind, generous people. And when you're ready, opening the eye. So this is the practice of Cāgānussati, the recollection of your generosity. It's one of the 6 Anussatis that the Buddha taught. These recollections. The other recollections are the Buddha-nussati, the recollection of the Buddha and his qualities. Dhamma-nussati, the recollection of the Dhamma, the teaching. Sangha-nussati, the recollection of the qualities of enlightened being. Sila-nussati, the recollection of your ethical conduct. Cāgānussati, the recollection of generosity. And Deva-nussati, the recollection of the qualities of the Devas. Other recollections also the Buddha taught include things like Maranapati, the recollection of death, or Anapanasati is also included in this list. So this is a powerful practice to understand the activities of our daily life, the opportunities you have to develop your mind in daily life through acts of kindness, acts of generosity. This is the stuff that you bring in to this short period of meditation. If in your daily life you can do good actions, be kind, be generous, when it comes down to sit, you're already feeling really good. And then when you're feeling really good, it's very easy to become happy in your meditation, to get joy and bliss. The activities that we do in our daily life matter. The quality of our mind matters. If you want good meditation, improve your daily life. Easy way to do that? Be nice. Be generous. Be kind. You'll see if you have this intention, if you make this your practice, your life will improve, your relationship will improve, and your meditation will have a lot of joy, a lot of good. This is the practice of Cāgānussati. I hope that you'll remember it. Practice lots of generosity during the week. Those people in the room who practice generosity, you're at an advantage here. You're like on the higher level because you start to see that link between your action and the result. This is karma. The Buddha talked about, right? You do good things, you feel good. And those people who struggled, see if you can understand why you struggle with this practice. Some people have a hard time seeing themselves as a good person. They don't want to big note themselves. Well, don't you worry. The Buddha said, become aware of your positive qualities. Celebrate your positive qualities. This is the positive feedback that you give yourself. Keep going. Right? Very important to acknowledge, yeah, I'm a good person. I'm generous. You're associating with the qualities, not the person. And if you had difficulty in this practice, do ask yourself why. Do you practice generosity? Can you see the benefits it gives yourself and others? Is it difficult for you to get a sense of joy? That sense of joy is what makes meditation easy. If you haven't got that sense of joy, that happiness, sometimes meditation can be very hard. That sense of enjoying the meditation is what keeps you in the meditation, and it's what makes you want to come back and meditate again. So getting that joy is very important. And that's why the Buddha taught these anussatis to bring up that inspiration, to bring up that joy. And you can incorporate these into your practice. Some of you who are Buddhists, practicing Buddhists, will know that the Buddha Dhamma Sangha is often incorporated into religious practices, ceremonies, pujas, events, in order to inspire the mind. You can start with something like a practice of Cāgānussati. And once you've got that good feeling, you can let it go and perhaps practice some Anapanasati. And so this is a skillful means taught by the Buddha, getting inspiration and joy, happiness in the path. Are there any questions? Anyone online? Yes. Good. Yay! Mm. Mm. Yeah, and you can, and this is where you can make an impact, you know. And it's actually very important to see your impact, I think. Like some of my teachers say things like, don't give with give with a warm heart, not a cold hand, or a warm heart, not a cold heart, a warm hand, not a cold heart. I don't know. The point being, don't wait till you're dead and cold to give, right? You want to see the results of your giving here, now, in this life. The reason is because of the impact it has on the mind. And at the end of your life, one of the instructions we give to people who are dying to recollect your goodness, recollect your generosity. This giving, letting go is preparing you for the letting go of this body, this me. And what's given is not lost. You know? So the Buddha said that generosity is an ornament for the mind. It makes the mind beautiful. And it's essential for reaching nirvana. Generosity is essential for reaching nirvana. And so every stage of the path is an act of generosity. And once you see that, really changes the way you live your life. Everything becomes a beautiful act of generosity. And so we can't help everyone in Gaza. We can't help everyone in Sudan. We can help the people in front of us. And that's where we're going to see the results of our practice. And doing this work with the people around us, this is where the work needs to be done. Yeah. Usually the people around us who we kind of most need to be kind to. Most need to love. You know. Anyone else? Yes. Yeah. Yeah. That's true. Yeah. Don't be generous and sad though. Have three qualities whenever it comes to giving. Have that inspiration. So I mentioned that inspiration. What is the inspiration to give? Yeah. Be aware of what you're doing, right? Be aware. The awareness is what we're trying to develop on the spiritual path. Like you want to be mindful. What I want you to do is to understand that this is something magical and profound. This desire to give, where does it come from? It's almost like it's just waiting under the surface for an opportunity. Someone once told me that love is preempting someone's happiness. Generosity is like an act of love. It's a desire to give happiness. And it's sitting there waiting for an opportunity to come out. So that inspiration is very important because it's like a muscle. You can build that inspiration so that it becomes instinctual to give, to be kind. You see this in many cultures, actually, and you see it, you don't see it in other cultures. You know what? It's okay if you are. If it gives you joy, then you should do it, right? And of course, giving is mixed. And the Buddha talked about this quite a lot. He said, giving is mixed. You know, some people give because they want something back. Some people give because it's what their parents told them to do, or that's the tradition. Some people give for this reason or that reason, social status, whatever. But as I mentioned before, the Buddha said the best way to think about generosity is to remember that it's an ornament for my mind and a requisite for enlightenment. And I've experienced this in my life as a monastic, because monastics are like a slow-moving target for generosity. We're a field of merit. People know that they can give food to the Sangha, they can make an offering of Anjali. We're like the opportunity for people, a conspicuous target where people can practice generosity. And the Buddha made it that way, so that people have this opportunity to get inspired to give. So inspiration is very important. And then the second thing that's important is to acknowledge the feeling that you have when you're doing an act of generosity, right? Like, you should feel pretty good, right? Acknowledging that feeling, you can grow that feeling, you can understand it. And if you feel good giving, it's like, well, why do I feel good when I give? Why do I feel good when I give? Because it's a wholesome, beautiful thing to do. You're caring about someone. You're letting go of your self-interest. You're thinking about someone else. Beautiful, right? No wonder it feels good, right? And the third thing is to have an awareness of how you feel after. Do you feel good after? You feel satisfied, happy? Great, right? So inspiration during the giving and after the giving. If you're not inspired to give, if you feel obligated, it's like attack. Don't give. If you feel like you're giving something, about to write that check for that charity, and you think, I don't want to do this, stop, don't do it. If afterwards you feel a bit dirty, oh, I didn't really want to give that, and it's sort of like, oh, maybe that wasn't wise giving. So try to have that inspiration is really important, and good feeling is really important. And then feeling good about it later is really important. And to supercharge that practice, Cāgānussati, do it, reflect on it. Otherwise, it's not that it's wasted. Giving is never wasted. But if you want to make the most of it, be aware of the things you're doing and reflect upon the things that you're doing, and you'll see, actually, this is like a shortcut to joy and happiness. And this is why the Buddha taught it. So we're like, oh, okay, if I think about this, I get happy. And happiness is the purpose of the spiritual path. Letting go of suffering is the purpose of the spiritual path. Happiness, when you're happy, you let go of a lot of suffering.